Hello gems, welcome to the Syafire Star. Today I'm going to show you how to upgrade your editing skills in Filmora 10 using the Effects and Resources section. If you're interested in learning the basics of Filmora, I encourage you to check out the card above and come back to this video after you finish Editing 101. However, if you'd like to just stick around and learn, that's okay too. Let's get started. So the fantastic thing about Filmora's Resources and Effects panel is that it's all built in within the editing software. For most softwares, you have to go outside of it and find external downloads for resources, effects, and things to enhance your video, but Filmora packs it all in, which is my favorite thing about this program. It's all in one spot and they have tons of great stuff, especially for VTubers and animated. Probably one of the best editing softwares for VTubers specifically because it has a lot of stylistic choices that really match with the branding of VTubers. So we're going to use and talk about a few resources, and I'll show you guys how to utilize these sections so you can help make your videos more entertaining and just better for everyone to watch. So the first section we're going to talk about is the sample videos. So if you go up to the upper left, click media and go down to sample videos, this is going to show you a huge selection of videos that you can put over top. So for example, if you wanted to do a super cool countdown to some exciting news or have like a sort of intro, there's tons of countdowns here. And all you have to do is drag from the media area and drop it into, as we mentioned earlier in our Editing 101 video, one of your video layers here. So we could just click keep the project settings, and then here you go, you can see this going over this video counting down, and then it goes into my video. So super duper helpful. Again, there's tons of options here. You can mess with any of these. The reason this stuff like this is great is it's actually, there's a term for it in editing called B-roll, and basically it's stuff that's playing in the background and you might still hear vocals or things that you're saying. So if I was talking about making a mushroom soup or something and I was like, oh, this mushroom soup is blah 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 blah, and then it's playing basically like this, that's what this kinds of stuff is really great for. So, and it could be really hard to get some of the footage that we need to help enhance the experience, especially as VTubers if we have limited resources or limited equipment or gear to record background stuff like this. So the sample videos is a great resource and section for you to be able to pull from in order to put, again, the new term we learned in this video called B-roll over your work to enhance the experience for the viewer and keep their attention. So next we're going to talk about the sample green screen. This is another great way to enhance your video with the effects. You can make your own, or again, you can grab from Filmora's library. So we're gonna just use this little let's do lightning for example. So we'll have the lightning, say you were talking about something super explosive, or you wanted to, again, there's so many options here. We have KO, we have snowing if you wanted to get a little bit festive, but we're gonna use the lightning for an example. So this is called a green screen effect. So you can make effects and have a green screen in the background so that it will work over any video. So how you get rid of the actual green screen is you double click here on the green screen file itself and you go down and you check chroma key. So if you're ever trying to get rid of a green screen in any video or in anything, you want to search for the effect chroma key. So we can check that, and now you can see that the lightning is going to play over my video, whatever is going on in the background there. And you could do that with any of the other areas as well. So let's just do another one here really quick as an example with the explosion. I'm going to double click checkmark chroma key, and then let's take a look, and we have the explosion happening. So again, super duper helpful stuff in order to add just more visual interest to your video. Next we have sample color. So we were just in sample green screen, then we can go to sample color. So this is another thing, click and drag, same concept we talked about before. So remember that all of these layers here, all of these sections here, they work like layers. So if you wanted to put text on top, so I'll just go to titles for example and drop a title up here on this upper layer. You see how we still have that checkboard background behind our title, or we can drag this title up here as well, and then we still have the background. So sample colors is a good one if you're trying to get a specific mood or look or gradient, and you can grab and upload your own image if you need something as well. But if you need a quick color background and you need to throw text on top of it, that's how it works. So that could be good for transitions if you're teaching something or talking to somebody a little bit about how it works. And again, see, this is great because we have titles in here as well, which is an automatic animation pack that Filmora comes with, which is super smooth because again, lots of other editing softwares don't have a huge selection, at least not as much as Filmora does in my experience. So next we're actually going to talk about audio. So we just talked about media. This is different media folders that you can dig into once you get into Filmora. And then next we're going to go over to our audio tab. So this is really, really helpful because if you want to monetize your content or if you want to have background music that you know is safe, you can utilize the ones that are within Filmora. Now we have so many many different sections in here for music, and we even have sound effects as well. So sound effects are great because sound design is another great way to help keep people interested in your video. Let's test this out. We're gonna scroll down a little bit. Remember how we talked about layers? We have our music on this layer. So I'm just gonna grab these little fairy chimes and drag them onto the audio layer right here, and then we're gonna go back and listen. Hear how magical that sounds. So again, if you have something that's sort of on brand with your character, like I'm very magical, celestial, so I could use something like fairy chimes. If you needed a video game jump, we can play that there. So again, see, we have lots of different stuff and we can utilize our layers here. So again, another great example of having these things. So we have an explosion sound effect here. We can actually drag this back to where our green screen effect is, and let's take a listen. Bam. We got the explosion noise. So again, sound effects super duper great for helping with funny moments in videos, or if you're trying to emphasize a specific point. And then again, we have music as well, full on music tracks, which you can grab down here and have playing in the background. So you can see we have this music track down here playing. So again, super duper helpful stuff to be able to add that extra level of entertainment to your video. So we already talked a little bit about titles. I showed you that earlier. Again, we have openers, subtitles you even can put into your video as well, which again, super duper nice because this can help with our friends who are hard of hearing or deaf to be able to communicate with them. We have overlays for if you want somebody to subscribe. You often hear people saying, make sure you like and subscribe in my video. And we have some of those, again, that come in to the pack with Filmora. And we can get into in another video about how these work and how we can edit these and such, but I just want to give you a little bit of an overlay and overview so you can see what's actually possible here for us. We have so many different ones. If you're an educational channel, something that's very like chalkboardy, look at how great that is. That's so, it feels so professional already, right? So Filmora really helps get you to that professional video editing level, again, without having literally any experience. Next, let's talk about elements. So we're gonna click up here to the elements tab, and here are some more overlay type things that we can have on our video to make it fancy schmancy. So let's just play this for example. So that might be, again, something for a really great moment. Maybe you made a really epic play in a video game and you're like, yeah, like, and then you can pair that with a sound effect. Or again, maybe something's on fire because you're making a joke about things not going right, like the "this is fine, everything's fine" joke. We can have the fire blazing back there to help represent and illustrate what's going on and story tell. Say you have an idea and you're like, "Oh, you're telling a story. Ooh, I had an idea," and you have this light bulb pop up on the screen, right? So again, these effects are really, really great stuff that you can utilize to help point in certain directions. If you need to point to something specific, we can overlay with that arrow. So lots of different options. We have even a fireball here that can come flying in, and think about how fun this can be for VTubers too, especially because you can react to these different things that are showing up on screen as well. This is actually one of my favorite ones right here is the wings one, and you can move them over. So like we can move the wings on Syafire back there, and if we had her on a separate layer, we can like put them behind her to make it a little bit more realistic. So super duper cool stuff, again, to help enhance your video. Next, we're going to talk about the effects tab. So very similar to some of the other ones like elements and titles. And effects are super duper important because, again, I cannot stress enough as content creators, it is so important for us to be able to hold our viewers' attention. How can we keep people engaged, learning, and attracted to what we are showing them on screen? And effects is a great way to do this, again, to enhance the visual experience. There are a ton of effects in here that we can go over another time, but I will be showing you some examples here of how we can utilize an effect. I'm going to click and drag this sparkle pack in here so we can take a look at what it looks like and see those little dots that are going over the screen. I'm covering it a little bit. Let me move my head. Boop, you see those little dots that are going over. So again, lots of different effect options here. I'm just going to grab some other ones on the screen so you can see what we've got going on. And for most of these effects, you can double click inside of the effect and you can go in and edit other things. The alpha usually relates to how transparent is what's going on. So alpha right here, it shows the transparency, how strong is it, how low is it. So keep in mind that for all of your effects and titles, you can pretty much double click and go in and edit it deeper. That's a good way to be able to edit to the next level. Now you are equipped with all the tools that you need to start enhancing your videos. If you'd like to learn more about the basics of how to use Filmora, check out this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Syafire Star. Bye!